It can be quite daunting trying to share something that is unspeakable. Meaning, there's no human sense that can deliver an understanding of that phenomenal, ultimate, overwhelming joy state experience. So therefore you have to be very careful in how you understand your position before this experience, the position during the unspeakable, and that what has a duty to deliver it. Because we have a duty to each other to continue to offer, not force, not with any intent, with any expectations, but we have a duty to offer examples of discovering your own individual truth, whether it's a non-dual truth, whether it's a awakening truth, whether it's a discovering of a apparent new planet truth. You have to remember the listener. If you're trying to describe it with a mind, with an ego mind, they're going to accept it with an ego mind. So it's very important to be genuine and to understand that no one will understand what you're saying. Even in the way that you offer help to a passerby who's looking for a particular shop in a high street, and it's about 500 meters away, and unless you take his hand or their hand and lead them there, you have to give them instructions, directions, and you have to say, take this street, go to the left, pass by this particular bus stop, blah 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 blah, and it's not accurate. Once that person finds the shop, it's accurate, you see. Nothing has happened till it happens. So that's why when you say nothing is happening, it's very important to understand that it's just your mind that's not operating. Your mind, your associations, your attachments, your beliefs, your hopes, all the stuff that you clung onto, that were dependent upon, they're not taking place at that moment. But to the listener, well, they're trying to listen on YouTube, and the children's running around, and the phone's ringing, and you say nothing is happening, and they say, what the hell are you talking about? You haven't got my life to live. Being genuine is to understand that there's a duality. The mind is split into many, many ways now. Ego being the one dominant way. The pure mind never not touched, but never not given attention to. You see? It's all attention on ego. So when you come on and say one of the most important things on the process of my own particular awakening was to have 100% trust, acceptance and faith into that cliff that I was about to step over, that something was going to catch me. That's not how it is, but that's the sense of the surrendering, that giving up. whatever is going to take place throughout this process, I trust and accept and have faith the outcome will be as it should be. Whether your expecting mind says it's a success or a failure, it means nothing, because success and failures are just stumbling hurdles and boundaries on the way that you have to overcome. Because trust, faith and acceptance for this quality of mind is to really give up and surrender. But it's not talking about to the listener, a dualistic way. It's only talking about that acceptance, trust and faith in life, in whatever is taking place. That flow. I give all myself to that what is about to take place. I have no fears and worries about the outcome. If the body has to die, it has to die. If there's nothing to be found, if I have to continue with this suffering world, then it has to be. But even those descriptions are examples of expectations. There's no expectations. I trust wholly in whatever will take place. But in this moment, if a young man, young boy, young girl was to throw a stone through your window in the midst of this deep samadhi state, you're not going to accept that. You're not going to accept that. That's the dualistic way. So when you're talking and someone's listening to this, any sharing of that Immaculate Conception, they're listening with whatever mind, the quality of mind it is that they're listening with. That's why Jiddu Krishnamurti and some of the great spiritualists, Ramana Maharshi, Neem Karoli Baba, are all misunderstood, because they think, the listener thinks, I have to listen to the words, the meaning, what I have to do to be like them, to be in the same state as them. There's nothing about the words. It's just about the presence of listen, the presence of being, the space between the words, the silence, the little intricate movements of their bodies. But that's the same for everyone. They're not special, you see. Something makes them special, you know. Something gives them that authority to make them special. So in life, in our human life, you're not going to accept, have faith and trust in that what is taking place in the world of mind around you, outside of you. No one is saying, yeah, just let the man or the burglar take your belongings and you sit alongside and watch him. I have trust, I have faith that he's doing the right thing, that I have to let this go. I have to surrender to that. That's not what's taking place. It's only the surrendering in the thoughts of the identification and the meaning and the personal needs and desires and wants from a life that is already fruitful. But you can't see it, you see, because what we do is we fill our house full of wonderful riches, and that's the bait for the burglar, you see. We create this idea of material wealth and love and belonging. This is my house. And that sense of love, that sense of self-adoration is sent out into the universe. And all the burglars and their Wi-Fi and the satellite dishes go, oh yes. we have to be careful about what we speak. Enlightenment, awakening for this one means very, very placid life. No more Sat Chit Ananda. The trust and the faith and the acceptance has not led to materialistic riches, to a place and a chair in a satsang hall. It's led to peace. It's led to seclusion in a beautiful way. Everything that surrounds you is part of you, apart from the people, apart from the other human beings. They're still searching. Some have found, some are discovering, some are deep asleep, some are deeply on the verge of dark night of the soul. And you see it in everyone. But you give no guidance and meaning. You just look and sense that sense of not material self-adoration or I did it self-adoration. You just simply stay in the presence of that one moment, and the love that enshrouds you enshrouds that what's around you. And no one knows what's going on. I believe I've read that Neem Karoli Baba was one of those. You just had to be in his presence, and your world of mind dissolved and changed, and you started to kiss his feet, touch his feet, cry, because he was offering the trust, the acceptance, and the faith that everything is okay in his world. Everything is purely deep samadhi consciousness in his world. Well, it's not what saints, speakers, gurus say. It's what they portray. It's not the words. It can just be the silence. So I remember that sometimes we talk from the mind, we talk from the memory, we talk from the language, we talk from the identification of myself as a person, as a man, as a name. And sometimes we talk from source, from that deep, holy consciousness that we are. And sometimes they get mixed up. And this sometimes can be very confusing. But the idea is not to confuse the mind. It's to give the mind some sort of possibility of awakening on its own. Meaning, I'm not listening to this anymore. I have a job to do. If the job is to go to your work, to be a good employee, that's what you have to do. If the job is your children that you've been ignoring because you've been watching YouTube, spiritual meditation videos for the last 4 hours and they're bored and on their phone and you have to go and entertain them, that's the job you have to do. If the job is to say, you know what, I'm not listening to this stuff anymore, I want to do it on my own, and I'm going to do it in whatever way comes up for me. And I'm going to have trust, acceptance, and faith in whatever that takes place. And if I find God, I find God. If I don't, at least I've tried. But all of this is the ego talking. Because the ego talking feels it has something to do. The ego is the doer. The ego is the wanter, the desirer, the needer. If we're searching for God, that means we need something in our life that is not fulfilling our life now. If we're searching for a new car or some stuff in your house to give you self-worth, that means you're not really content with what's going on in your life. But that's the choices that we have been given, you see. You have the choice to speak, you have the choice to listen. You have the choice to ignore, you have the choice to take on board. But when consciousness taps you on the shoulder and you turn around, you know you've no choice. The choices are over, and you relinquish both of these choices with a smile on your face. And you say, come now, take me, take this me, and show me, reveal me, what it is you want to reveal me. And consciousness says, I just want to wake you up. You've been given this life. Don't waste it. See it for what it is. Be accepting in everything in life. Be in trust. Continue to trust. Continue to have faith. Because through faith, no matter what the faith is, whether it's a faith of form, a faith of material richness, a faith of people, a faith of the imagined, a faith of the thoughts, at one point you're going to have to face up to the true faith of what you are. Now, you may not like it, but it's your time. The ego me is about to face up to itself. And the words of Christ are clear, because Christ uses the word ego and tells you how to overcome it very simply. Christ says, through me, my ego, me, my ego, I is the way. Overcome me, sit with I, and I will show you the way. This I is not the personal ego I. This I is the I of God, the I of consciousness, the I of spirit, and through it is freedom, is peace, is liberation. It's tranquil, but you'll find your own words to describe it, the undescribable.